So we're going to start just in a seated position. Hands are supporting you just behind your back. Feet are probably about 1.5 shoulder width apart, and then we're going to keep one knee pointing up towards the ceiling while the other knee drops in towards the floor, and then slowly bring it back out, and then we'll alternate between legs. So just continuing this movement one side to the other. We will be trying to keep both sit bones down on the floor as you're doing this. So don't turn it into a big roll over onto the side where you really lift your butt up off the floor. Try and keep it down and just drop that knee. If your knee doesn't make it to the floor, that's fine. Just go as far as you comfortably can. We're just trying to move around and explore what your range is at the moment. Slowly dropping one knee and then slowly dropping the next. Just checking in with your body, seeing how you feel. You should find that after a few minutes of doing this, you can start to get that knee a little lower without having to lift the hips at all. And then we can also add taking the knee as wide as we can. So as I come up, I try and take that knee out as wide as I can. Back to the starting point, point that knee up to the roof, other one drops in, and then take it out as wide as you can. Again, we want to avoid that hip rock. Try and keep both sit bones in one place as best as you can. If there's a little bit of movement, there's a little bit of movement. That's fine. Slowly working one side and slowly working the other. Remember, things you can't do well, you do fast. Movement patterns that aren't available for your complete control, you end up throwing your body through that. And often you're quite unaware that this is going on. So just slow everything down. Do you have a rough, bumpy part of this movement? Do you have an area where you really need to force yourself through? Then just try and smooth that area out a little bit. Put more attention while you're doing that movement. See if you can start to rewrite your movement patterns. Now we're going to drop both hips together. So I'll take the inside leg one and then the outside leg goes down as well. Outside comes up and then the inside, and then we swap it over. Again, it's slow and controlled. And we can bring this up into a squat as well. So it's whatever's comfortable for you, and if you need to actually sit on something and just explore this movement without actually having to support yourself in a squat, then feel free to grab a yoga block or whatever it is that you need to use to help you just sit down in a resting squat. And you can start to explore dropping that knee in and then slowly bringing it back up. Other knee drops down, lift the knee out. I'm trying to make sure that I'm still pointing my upright knee up towards the ceiling. I don't let that collapse in at this stage. I keep that hip under control, and it's just one knee dropping down towards the other foot. Have a little break whenever you need to have a break. Depending on your movement capabilities, this can be quite a workout. Slowly going from one side to the other. Again, we're still exploring the range and exploring how fluid or how easy this movement feels. If it's a real struggle, then try and smooth it out even more. Slowly and with control. Trying to develop that movement pattern so it becomes available for you to use. Next, we're going to progress this movement, and you can support yourself down. So if I lead first with one leg, my opposite hand is supporting down on the floor. I leave that knee down and then drop the outside knee. Lift that knee back up and then swap it to the other side. Inside knee drops first, outside goes down, and I'm taking weight through my supporting hand here. I'm just exploring how this movement feels without putting full load through this. The same as before, it's still slow and controlled here. So if this is comfortable, then you can increase the demand by decreasing the amount of help that you get through that hand. Now only do what is comfortable for you. Don't put this, if this is stressing your knees, then don't do this at all. Only do what is comfortable. We can drop that inside knee, then take the outside knee back down. Place the hand down on the floor to help yourself come up. Drop that knee in, outside knee goes down, and then help yourself come on up out of here. Again, we're not working through any pain or discomfort with this movement. So if you are experiencing pain here, then you need to take a step back and work where is comfortable and where is within your range. And then from there, just bring those legs out, give that all a little shake out. Just there. Next we're going to work from a 90-90 position. So 90-90, I have my hips going straight out in front. One leg is straight out from that hip. 90-degree bend at that knee. Another one, opposite leg is directly out to the side. 90-degree bend at that knee as well. From here I'm going to use support through my hands as well to support this position. For all these movements we want to try and minimize hip wobble. So just check in with yourself. If your hips are moving a lot, just try and minimize that as much as you can. To begin with, I'm going to start by lifting my back heel up off the floor. I'm using my hand, so it's a passive movement. As I lift that heel up as high as it will go, and just bracing that position right there. And from here, holding with the hand, I'm strongly going to push the foot back down towards the floor. Strong as I can. Keep pushing that down and then engaging those muscles that would take that foot down to the floor. Relax, take a breath, and see if you can just move that heel a little further up. If you've got a little bit more range out of that. And we can do that again. Strongly push that heel down towards the floor. Strong as you can. And relax. And see if you can bring that a little further around. Just check in that you're not just rolling your hips here. Try and keep your hips back where they started. It's just the foot that's moving up towards the ceiling. Or it's that upper leg that's moving within the hip joint, but not the whole pelvis itself. And then we shall drop that down. From here I'm bracing myself with both arms. I'm going to keep this knee in position and actively see how I can go at lifting the heel up off the floor. So knee stays down and I lift that heel as high as I can. Hold for a few seconds up here and drop back down. Again, we'll do a handful of these, lifting that heel up. Just remember that cramps are your friend. It's just a little bit of neural confusion going on. Your body's not sure what to do, so it's trying to do too much. And the more exposure that we can give it, the more it becomes available, this movement. The more your body is able, or your brain is able to work out what it needs to do this movement without causing cramping sensations. So I want to try and breathe through that cramp. If you need to, you come on out, give it a stretch, come back in, join in. When you're ready, as you lift that heel up as high as you can get it to go, drop back down. One more time, lifting that heel up as high as you can, holding for a few seconds, drop back down. In this same position, we're now going to work on the front leg. To start with, I'm going to take my hand and lift the front leg off the floor. And as I do it, I want to try and keep ankle and knee in the same line as I lift up. So I'm not just lifting my knee and then bringing that towards my chest, but I'm trying to lift the whole lower leg up in line with the floor, or parallel to the floor. Again, watch your hip movement. Want the hips to stay in one spot as you lift up as high as you can. Then you pull that in, and now brace with that hand and strongly try and push the whole leg down towards the floor. So again, it's not just my foot, but it's my foot and knee evenly. I'm trying to move towards the floor. Keep pushing that down. Hold the position, but relax. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, just see if you can move that up a little higher. And again, we'll strongly try and push that down to the floor, trying to push both foot and knee in the same line all the way down. Keep pushing, trying to get that down to the floor, and relax. See if you can move that just a little higher up there. And we'll have a few breaths in this final position. Drop that leg down. Again, I'm going to use two hands as support to brace here. I'm going to actively try and lift this front leg up off the floor. But like before, we want to do it evenly, so lift your foot in the same line with the knee. From here, lift that leg as high as you can. Hold it up there for a few seconds and drop it back down. Lift that leg, keeping it flat. Don't leave your foot behind, but try and bring it up evenly. All the way up and drop back down. Lift that up again, holding for a few seconds. Trying to really get as high as you can go. Drop it down. Two more here. Lift that up. Hold it up as high as you can. Place it down, and then one more. Lift that up. Also checking in with your hips. It's not just a big hip movement here. It's just the leg that we want to see move. And drop back down. Let's set it up for the other side. So I'm in my 90-90. Hips are going out straight out ahead of me. That leg straight out in front. 90-degree bend at that knee. This leg straight out to the side. 90-degree bend there. Take a hold of this foot. Brace yourself with the other hand. Lift this heel up towards the ceiling. Trying to get it up as high as you can. And you can see this is my hip that constantly needs work on it as it's slowly catching up to the other side. Still got a bit to go. Going to brace this position and strongly push the heel down towards the floor. Strong as I can. Continue to push down and then relax and take a breath. See if you can lift that up a little higher. Again, without moving that hip, try and keep your hips as best you can in their position. Strongly push that foot back down towards the floor. Try and engage those muscles that you're lengthening to try and get them to work now, and try and move that foot towards the floor. It won't move anywhere because you're bracing with the hand. Relax. See if you can then just passively lift it a little bit higher. Have a few breaths in this final position. Drop that down. Both hands are acting as a support. We're going to leave the knee down on the floor as we lift that foot up towards the ceiling. Lift that foot as high as you can and then drop. Lifting up. Hold it for a few seconds up there. Place it back down. Lift up again and drop it back down. Two more here. Trying to go as high as you can. Remembering trying to work through any cramps that you can. Try and breathe through them. But if you need to, just come out and stretch that out. Lift that up as high as you can. And drop it back down. We will then move on to that front leg. Again, we're going to passively lift it up. So I'm using my hand to try and bring evenly my knee and foot up towards the chest. Hold this position. And now bracing with the hand, push So leg back down towards the floor, and you want to move both knee and foot in the same line all the way back to the floor. Strong as you can. And relax there, take a breath. And as we breathe out, just try and move it up a little higher. Hold this new position. Strongly pushing back down towards the floor, as strong as you can. Continue to push down. Hold the position, but relax. Take a breath. As you breathe out, see if you can move that up or just a little higher. We'll have a few breaths in this final position. Drop the leg down there. Both hands out as support. From here, we want to try and make sure that foot and knee come up in the one line. So I haven't left the foot down on the floor. Bring it up as high as you can, and then take it back down. Lifting up as high as you can go, and drop back down. Again, trying to get a little bit higher with each time you come up. And drop. 2 more here. Lift this up as high as you can. And now 1 more. Lifting up. Hold it as tight as you can, up as high as you can. And drop that down there. Give that all a little shake around. Now we're going to take our legs out as wide as you comfortably can. Try and set your hips up so that your belly button is moving forward and you're untucking your tail. You're not really slumped out here. If you are slumped out, you probably just need to sit on something, a pillow or a yoga block, something like that, just to lift the hips up a little higher. Keep a slight bend in your knees if that's the case, and that should help you be able to untuck the tail and have an upright spine in this position. From here, I'm just going to try and keep one knee down as I roll that knee in towards the center line, and then roll it back out. So I'm trying to keep that knee as close to the floor as I can as I do this movement. Just alternating one side to the other. As we bring that knee in and then take it back out into a legs wide position. Try and keep the spine upright as you do this. Don't turn it into a real push out the back to create this movement, but keep your tail untucked as you alternate between the legs. And now we can add both legs. So as I bring this one in, my other one's coming out and I'm in my 90-90 position. I then straighten back out and then swap it over. Back knee comes forward, end up in my 90-90 with the front knee. Aiming to keep both knees as close to the floor as you can while you do this movement. Still keeping the tail untucked, trying to keep the spine upright as we just alternate one side to the other. And there we have 20 minutes of some good mobility exercises for the hips. Hope